All right, so this is the second packet, the one I sent home. You should have it. If not, you can pick it up at the school. It should say Realistic Study Forms. All of the categories are the same as we did in our first texture composition. The only difference is this one says value versus texture. All right, so let's open it up. This is what you should have. This is what you have. So get rid of that. Put that over there. All right, standard number 2 pencil. Ta-da! I stole it from my daughter's room. I borrowed it from my daughter's room. All right, so the first one I want you to scribble. All right, and the reason I want you to do this is for 2 reasons. One, you'll notice the pencil was very sharp when I first started and very wide when I finished. That's going to be important to us down here. Second thing, when you scribble, you leave dead space. Everybody does it. Okay, we want to get rid of that. So on a clean scribble, and I'm going to turn my paper this way because hands going across your paper leaves smudge marks. So I'm going to turn my pencil. Here's where I'm going to put the flat side down and even pressure all the way across. Now I'm using my finger as a stop. That way I don't have to do a whole lot of erasing. I'm just going to keep my finger there. And every time I bump into it, and I'm going to go all the way across. Now if you don't get it clean on the first try, it's not a one time and you're done. So I've got a few marks here. So I'm going to start at the back and I'm just, if I can talk, I'm just going to gently go back over it. I'm not pressing any harder than I did the first time, but you'll notice it's cleaning everything up for me. Now, I have dead space at the top and the bottom. So again, with the flat of that pencil, I'm going to just come around here and clean it up. Clean up those corners. What you don't want to do is go all the way out here and then try to erase it. Erasing, it just smudges it. Alright, top line's done. Now, I got this little guy right here. There is something stuck to my table. There's probably stuff stuck to your table. I also have scratch marks in my table, which will show up on my paper. Don't worry about it, I know they're there. And I know what causes them. So, on an 8-count value scale, 0, nothing. Negative, numbers all the way down. Remember, this is where the light is not hitting it. So, again, start really, really lightly. Keep it clean. All the way across. In the next box, you're going to do it again, but just press a little harder with your pencil. This is going to be about hand control. Controlling the amount of pressure you put on your pencil. Clean up your dead space. And again, every time you move box, it's going to get a little darker. Now, I did not get very dark. This is fine. You just want it a little darker. Go back over it if you need to. It's not, again, a one time and you're done. You may have to go over it a couple times to get the value to change. Now these last two tend to be the hardest because you really have to put pressure on your pencil. Your pencil will do amazing things for you. You just have to control the amount of pressure you're putting. And the last one, find that inner Hulk and really press on it. As dark as that pencil's going to go. Alright, let's take a look. 0, nothing, a little darker, and a little darker, all the way up to 7. Now, the only difference between this scale and this scale is this one is blended. In other words, again, take the flat of your pencil. I'm going to gradually increase the amount of pressure that's on my pencil. And again, I'm using my finger as a stop. Now if you have to go back over it, go back over it. Make sure you're overlapping those pencil strokes. That way we don't get any dead space. We don't see scribble marks. And towards the end here, really press on that pencil. Now here's what happens with most students. They get down to the end and realize, oh, I didn't go dark enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and find that Hulk. Get it? And they leave me with this. Notice I have a mark here. I have a mark here. Take your pencil, start at your dark side, and go right back over the top of it. Get it blended in. And if you have to do it more than once, do it more than once. This value should be the same. The only difference is there's no line here. There's no line here. Clean up your dead space. Nice and blended. Now this one, we're actually going to do a color change. So it's two-tone blended. And I'm going to use orange and red. So I'm going to turn my paper on the side. Now since orange represents my lightest value, it's actually this in reverse. So I'm pressing really hard with that orange pencil. And as I get into the darker area, I'm going to lighten up with my lighter color. Again, this is nice and gradual. Now I have dead space at the top and the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and get that cleaned up. So orange is going to represent our light value. The red's going to represent my dark value. So now I'm going to go to the dark side and do it again. Starting with super rich color and lightening it up as I go across. So the intensity of the pencil is going to remain the same. I'm just going to change the color. Now, notice the intensity is good here. We got good intensity here. Not so much here. Alright, so what we want to do, and this is where a little science comes in. I'm going to take my lighter value again. Instead of coming straight across, I'm going to do it at an angle. This layering technique is actually going to make the two colors start to blend together. Basically, I'm going to heat the colors up as I go across. You'll notice it's not quite so dead. Now I'm going to go back to my red again. I'm going to change the angle I'm coloring at. Now you should, if you get putting pressure on there, see these colors start to come together. And they're going to remain nice and rich. Alright, that's better. I still got a little bit right in there, so I'm going to take my orange and I got to sharpen it. And there we go. So again, I'm going to come at a different angle. I'm going to get those two to come together. And then clean up this one section here. When you're done, you should have good, rich, solid color all the way across. But now I'm going from orange to red-orange to red. Don't try to go from orange to green. That's going to make a muddy brown mess in a way, and you don't want that. So really quickly, I'm going to talk about this one. So this one is 4 variations. So on our 4 variations, I'm going to have you redraw these 4 times, but you'll notice I'm drawing them, some that are small, some that are short and wide. On your spheres, go ahead and sketch out a round one, a small one, a large one, even an egg-shaped one. I did the same thing here. I even tilted this one at a different angle, made one really short, nice and tall, wide, thin. Play with the different dimensions of your... Okay, so there's... On the next video, I'm going to go through this one.